Welcome back to Limq Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel, comes out, which is today in 72 days. And I'm not gonna lie to you, but my mind today is pretty much all consumed with the announcement of the new Elden Ring DLC. To be fair, there's no release date yet, so there's not that much that I can talk about, even though I've been theory crafting the lore of it quite a bit. That's not the right channel for it, though. Here, we are doing Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that's kind of all what I've been thinking about today. I've still prepared, oh nice, saved that, a little bit of a small topic today that I sometimes have to explain on my stream because people ask me if I'm pre-ordering the game, if I'm getting the collector's edition, and I tell them, well, I'm getting the game as a digital download and why. I would basically go into two specific examples why I personally prefer the digital download option. Also here, little neat Korok trick for these Acorns down here. If you shoot a bomber just in front of them, the explosion will take them out. So if you're trying to go fast, you can get them easily from mid-air. So first of all, I just want to make this clear. If you want to buy the game physically because you like having physical items, you want to hold the game in your hand, right? Absolutely go for it. I'm not telling you that digital, well, in a way I'm telling you that digital is better, but only for one specific use case. But of course, if you want to buy the game physically, go ahead. It's not me making a point that digital is the truth. I will just explain you why I'm getting digital, and maybe that's interesting for you. Maybe some of you are torn and they don't know if they want to download the game or buy it as a physical copy, and maybe, what is going on here? It's a war zone. And that's kind of the point of this video. So, digital games tend to be faster for speedruns. You do have to know what you're doing, though. In Breath of the Wild's case, the ideal version to speedrun on is the digital copy, but you have to specifically make sure that you install the digital copy of the game onto your Switch. Like, actually, your Switch's hard drive. If you install your digital copy onto your SD card, that advantage is actually going to be gone again. So just by getting the game digitally, you're not going to save time. The ideal way to speedrun the game technically, and this is only obviously apparent for load times, is buying the game in the eShop and making sure that it's installed onto your Switch. So ideally you even remove your SD card, make sure it's only installed on the Switch. That way it loads fastest in these loading transitions for example, loading shrines, entering shrines, or warping around. That's for me the main reason I've pretty much been getting every game in the eShop recently, together with me just not being a big collector in the first place. Like, I don't really collect physical items, with very small exceptions. Like, I have some amiibo in the bag of games that I really like, but I have never really been big into collecting physical goods. And video games are no exception. And then this specific detail, I think, was actually that I got Mario Odyssey originally as a physical copy. Oh, I do want to go for that shot again when it does align. I got Mario Odyssey as a physical copy. Okay, give me 1 second here. These balloon Korok seeds can be a little bit of a nightmare. Also, these keys are not making it any easier. I got Mario Odyssey as a physical copy, and then I had to get it again later on digitally when I wanted to improve my speedrunning time. And that's obviously, like, having to buy a game twice basically was like a lesson for me to go ahead in the future and just buy games digital in the first place. This only applies to the small amount of people that are actually interested in speedrunning. The second point for a digital copy might be more interesting to the average user, maybe even to you watching this video if you're not into speedrunning, even though that might be, like, if you're considering, let me just say this, right? If you don't really care about physical items and you're considering maybe Tears of the Kingdom will be the game that I'm gonna try speedrunning, that could be a reason to get the game digitally, so that you don't have to buy it twice. At the end of the day, usually with the time save I'm talking about here is minimal and only really matters when you go for top times, but you know what? I just think in cases like this, might as well. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have a clear preference, that might be something you want to consider. Second point, do you have arrows equipped? Yeah, second point, and that's something that's pretty niche, and it's mostly due to me being anxious about it, is one thing that always freaks me out when I buy the game physically is, obviously, you being able to play the game on release is kind of in the hands of, I don't know, Amazon, DHL, whoever is going to deliver the game to you. And that personally just makes me anxious. Knowing that I can download the game the exact minute it comes out. Like I always explain, if you get the game in, for example, the Australian eShop and you're in America, you might even be able to play the game 12 hours earlier than when it unlocks for your region. Makes me feel a little bit more relaxed than feeling like, oh, what if my package gets delayed? What if I'm somehow... my doorbell is broken and I miss the time the guy is supposed to deliver the package to me, like, you know, stuff like that. It's obviously kind of like an obvious point, but I think it's something worth considering if you're still on the fence whether to get the game digital or physical. I will say, I think some of the physical pre-orders right now come with interesting pre-order benefits from, like, I think GameStop has like these wooden plaques going on. I think German shops, MediaMarkt here has like these coins that they've recently announced. And then obviously the collector edition, it's this entire own thing. People ask me about the collector's edition. I guess this is a good time to talk about that too. About my thoughts on the collector's edition. I'm a little bit disappointed. Mainly because, well, so first of all, again, the problem is that I've already obviously seen the artwork that comes with it now. I talked about it in the past, the leaks, blah blah blah. You've probably caught up to this point. What the hell? This guy hit me and then fell off his horse. He's trolling. Which makes the value of it even lower. But I always thought when I saw that art book that likely they're gonna announce an even bigger art book in the future, similar to Creating a Champion, where maybe they are gonna go more into the process of what it was like to create the game. That's a book I would be getting anyway. And then the rest of the items are like these pins, the steelbook, which is like fine, the poster, which essentially is just a print that you could like get from Google Images. I don't know, I wasn't really blown away, so the collector's edition was always something that was never interesting to me, especially unfortunately not now with the art book stuff. But obviously everyone has their own, like some people I heard really love the steelbook and that's what they want to go for, and then that's absolutely valid. I just wanted to kind of give you my opinion on it, what I'm getting and why. If you're still on the fence and if you're considering speedrunning, maybe this helps you. Alright, looks like I got this Korok seed in this tree already here. We'll be riding up towards Monyatoma, and then we are at 77.5%. I'm actually glad that we've got through this section of the game. It can be quite confusing to collect all the Korok seeds here, but I think I'm good. Got the light chase, got the rocks, did the jumps with the horse. And next up would be to get these 2 shrines. And then from here we're gonna make our way basically over the Ridgeland here and then over Satori Mountain through the Tabantha Canyon into eventually Hebra. That's gonna be the big stretch here for the final days, finding all of these Korok seeds, getting closer and closer to 100%. 77.5, that looks like some pretty good progress already. Before we know it, we're gonna be up at 80% and then basically get into the true final stretch. Thank you for watching. Excuse me for not having a super interesting topic, maybe for some of you not super interesting topic ready. It is just one of those days and my brain has been thinking about Elden Ring a lot today. But I hope you enjoyed hanging out and getting some Koroks. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be back as usual, almost breaching the 70-day barrier. Tomorrow it'll be 71 until the game comes out. Thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you there.